Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. 10,000 subscribers. 10,000. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We got about 20 to go. But I want to welcome everyone to my 10,000 subscriber party. We're going to have so much fun tonight. I've got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of fun things. There's going to be plenty of giveaways. Okay. I want to ask you guys, just if you do find value in today's live stream, please do hit that like button and subscribe, because we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers today. And I wanted to invite everyone out there to come join me in this journey to 10,000 subscribers. We're so close, so close. I'm so close to having those 10,000, and we're going to do it tonight. And I'm going to stay here until we do it tonight. And everyone who is here is eligible for prizes, okay? If you participate in tonight's chat, you will be eligible. Coyote and Donnie Johns. Coyote and Donnie Johns, welcome to the chat. People that participate in today's chat are going to be eligible for the prizes I'm giving away. And there is a boatload of prizes. So I'm really looking forward to giving those out. We're going to have a Leathercraft Maker package, which is the big one we're giving away at the end. And that's whoever's been participating the most in this tonight's live stream. So definitely chime in. I'm going to ask questions. You guys have questions for me, you can ask them. I'll answer them for you. The Leathercraft Maker package has letter stamps in it. It's going to have an edge burnisher, a Big Stacks belt template, Big Stacks butter. Yeah, that's something new. Big stacks of butter, and some, I would say, sample leather pieces. They're basically project pieces that I've already cut for you. There's gonna be a mystery braid, a strap keychain, and then the tag keychain as well. So all you need to do is, you don't have to cut them. All you need to do is finish them and make them your own. So that's all exciting stuff. And then at the end of today's live stream, I'm going to give every single participant a chance. Or no, every single participant is going to be able to download every single plan that I've ever done. And immediately after the broadcast, I'm going to put that post up there, and I'm going to pin the comment. And it's going to be up there until May 17th. And why May 17th? I'll tell you why till May 17th. May 17th is the 3-year anniversary of Big Stacks Small Workshop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an additional giveaway. So after tonight's live stream, we're going to have an additional giveaway. That's going to be a C.S. Osborne leather hammer. If you don't know who C.S. Osborne is, C.S. Osborne is a premium maker of leather and upholstery products and tools. So it's going to be a premium hammer. Actually, let me grab it right here. It's this thing right here. It's going to be one of these. And it has, to get as close as I can, it has like kind of a rounded edge. You guys see that? It's not a flat or rounded face. It's not a flat face. And it's basically really, really great hammer for tapping down those stitches once you stitch your projects. And once you tap them down, they're going to be flush. They're going to make your project look great. So that's going to be after the live stream today. This is going to be on replay for a while. And contributors, keep contributing. If you want to watch it again, if you are tuning in for the first time and it's on replay, you definitely want to contribute as well. Just because it's not live doesn't mean you can't win the C.S. Osborne hammer. So a real quick 3 things about the prizes. You have to be present to win during the live stream, with the exception of the hammer. All the other prizes, you're going to have to be here during the live stream and participate to win these other prizes, the 13 other prizes, okay? After we do this, after I say that you've won the prize, I need you to email me, and that's going to be bigstackshop.com. You email me your contact information, your address, because we need to be able to confirm that you are the actual winner. And again, and if you're outside of the 48 U.S. states, the continental United States, you're going to have to pay shipping charges on it. I'm sorry, I am a half-broke content creator, and I can't afford international shipping for these prizes. I will still give you the prizes. You just need to send me the money to internationally ship it. Let's see who's chimed in. I see some people have chimed in. Jerry Reichert, first live here, stoked. Thanks for coming out. Pamela Littlefield, hi. Cliff Maynard, good evening to you too, my friend. And DND TBD, Waves, and the Wood Burning Warrior, howdy. Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? I'm so glad you can make it. We're celebrating 10,000. We're going to celebrate 10,000. We are not at 10,000 yet. We are getting there. We have like 20 more to go as the beginning of this live stream. We're going to see how close we can get to 20,000. I'm really planning on sticking around until we get to 20,000. Or I'm sorry, 10,000. I'm really planning on sticking around until we get to 10,000 tonight. We're going to hit that 10,000 mark, and I'm going to celebrate that with you guys. So tonight we're going to talk about the channel itself. We're going to have some demos. We're going to do some Q&A, and then also the other thing we're going to do is we're going to have the giveaways, because there's so many great fun things to be given away. Okay, so a little bit about me. My name is Big Stacks. I started my channel to share my passions with things around my shop and in my yard, including my garden, woodworking, and leathercraft. Those are the three big things. And I'll tell you what, leathercraft really took off on the channel. And when leathercraft took off, that's something that I did not foresee happening. And I was not a master leather crafter by any means. So you guys are actually sharing this journey with me as I'm learning new things and doing new things in leathercraft. Now, the things that I'm showing you are things that I've practiced. If I'm doing it for the first time, I'm also telling you, hey, this is my first time doing this. I'm trying this out. I did some leather painting here recently. I'm gonna have a video coming up about that. Working on some new projects. Every project that I have every project that I have, there is a template that I've designed for it. And the template, you can download this template, PDF form. If you subscribe to my newsletter, that's how you get it. And once you do that, then you can take the plan and make it yourself. Just follow along with the video. So my first video was May 17th, 2022. And I actually did 4 videos. I did the dump right away. Boom, dumped 4 videos. The first one was the three ingredients I used, my secret mix for my raised bed gardens. So that was a gardening video. I did a video on how to keep dogs from digging up your backyard. And that doesn't fall into any of those categories, but it's something that I really wanted to share. I am a dog fan, and I have 4 of them. Count them. Mrs. Stacks makes sure that we have plenty of dogs around here. She is a huge dog fan and actually is a dog trainer as well. So a couple of my dogs are actually trained as service dogs. And once I did these 4 initial videos, things just went well. They started taking off from there. Oh, the belt making video, that's the other two. The other two, I did a belt making video, and I did a narrated version and a regular version. I think it's called ASMR, which is just the sounds of the shop. I did both of those. And shout out to Alain Valancourt, the woodpecker. He had a channel that I watched forever, and Alain told me how to edit videos, gave me a lot of advice about it, and he actually convinced me to do narration on my videos. I was just going to do ASMR. I did narration. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer just the sounds of the shop, just the leather, the tools, or do you actually want to hear me explain everything I'm doing? Chime in, let me know. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. 3 years later, and I'm finally asking, do you like just the sights and the sounds of the shop, or do you want me to explain what I'm doing, which is what I have been doing in my videos? Let me know. Let's see. Get 'em, Stacks. Born at 40. Thank you very much. Jerry Reichert, doing great. Thank you. Donnie Johns. Later, I have to go. Really like your video. Good information. And then Jerry Reichert. I like to hear stuff explained. Very awesome. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate hearing from you guys. I just want to remind everyone, this is a 10,000 subscriber party. I don't know how many subscribers we have. Let me take a peek at that real quick. Let's see if we can pull that up. How many subscribers do we have right now? Oh, we got 2 more subscribers, it looks like, since this thing has started. 2 more subscribers. Thank you guys very much. Okay. 2 more subscribers. We have 18 subscribers to go until I hit 10,000. So very, very much looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys coming out. Another shout out to Film Fate Matt. Film Fate Matt actually has a channel called Jeep Geeks, where they go over to different Jeep festivals. They go over improvements on their Jeeps. Very exciting stuff, and he has helped me a lot with the video and setting up and filming and editing. Can't thank you enough, Matt. Thank you very much. So Alan and Matt, both, thank you guys very much. You guys have been a big part of the success that I've had here. So we are getting to 10,000 subscribers. I want to remind everyone, prizes are coming up very soon. We're going to do a Q&A here in a minute. But once again, people that participate in the chat, people that come in there, people let me know what's going on, talk to me, answer my questions. Those are the ones that are going to win the prizes today. So definitely be very, very active in the chat. So let's start with a little Q&A, okay? I think I left my list inside, so we're going to have to do the Q&A off the computer. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up. All right, the Q&A. All right. So there was a question about the folding rulers. When I had purchased some folding rulers, or no, I had purchased a gentleman's workshop. Everything he had in his leather shop, and he had actually passed away. His son had sold it to me. And I was really excited to get one of these folding rulers. You guys remember these folding rulers? I was really excited to get one of these because I don't see them anymore. And then one of my viewers chimed in and said, oh yeah, I've got like a bunch of those at home. I just bought them. And I was like, who makes these folding rulers? So the names of the companies, this is like a reverse Q&A. I asked him and he answered me. The names of these folding rulers, the companies are Hultafors, Hultafors, and Stabila. And I believe those are both Norwegian or Scandinavian countries that produce these rulers. So as far as we know, those are the only two left that are still making these folding rulers. They're great for getting in corners, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you could just use a regular roller to get in the corner. I remember as a kid, I unfolded my grandfather's ruler one time and folded it back and actually broke it. Still feel bad to this day about it. But I felt really bad about it then. Probably get yelled at. I don't remember. But if I could, I'd give him this ruler right now. It's my only one, but I would give it to him because I felt bad that I had broke that ruler. While I'm going over this Q&A, I want you guys to ask your own questions. Give me some Q&As. Give me some stuff. Give me questions about leathercraft, about woodworking, about the shop. Anything that you have a question about, please drop it below in the chat, and I'll take a look at it. Once I'm done answering these, I'm going to look at those. And whoever had the best question out of that group is going to get the first prize package. And the first prize package, let me take a look and see what our first prize package is. It is, okay, an Ed's burnisher, a can of Big Stacks of butter, and I'll go over that in a little bit, what Big Stacks of butter is, and a belt template. So that's awesome stuff. The first person is going to get those. Let's continue going through these 4 questions real quick. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to respond to you guys in a minute. The snuff can caddy pattern. Okay. In addition to the tools that I got, there was different patterns in there that this gentleman had. And I thought the snuff can caddy pattern was in there. It is not a pattern. It's just instructions. Tandy Leathercraft used to sell project packs, and they had like all the pre-cut leather pieces you were going to need, and if you needed to sew it up, it had thread in there, and it had whatever hardware you needed to make the project. You just had to finish it and make it your own. This was instructions on how to do that. Now, I can't really, even if I did have the patterns, I can't copy them. That'd be a copyright thing. But what I can do is I can come up with my own pattern. So definitely, if you guys would like to see me come up with a snuff can caddy pattern, let me know. It's basically, it goes on your belt right there. And probably not going to make it on YouTube for a snuff can. Maybe I'll make something similar, a hockey puck or a tuna can, because we do not promote any type of tobacco products on here. If you use Zens, you can also probably put the Zen pouch in there, the nicotine pouches, but they're like salts, they're not tobacco. But still, that's a product that YouTube's not going to allow me to promote. So I can make a caddy that's going to carry that, or a tuna can, or a hockey puck, or some icebreakers gun. You know, the tuna can would be pretty interesting because, you know, you always need extra tuna can with you just in case. You just pull it out, take a little pouch of tuna and put it in your mouth. That'd be kind of silly, but you know, you never know what you do when you're hiking. So I cannot do a snuff can caddy pattern from there, but if you want me to make one, definitely let me know down below. And keep your questions coming. I definitely, whoever has the best questions here is going to get the prizes. It's going to be the Big Stacks leather butter, the belt template, and the edge burnisher. So, Ken Larsonful asked me, what is the best way to use them? Just smack them with a hammer? What he's referring to, what I think Ken's referring to is, and I'm going to reach in here and grab something, the 2D and the 3D stamps, these things right here. I got a bunch of these. Get a closer view. A bunch of these in that Facebook marketplace where I purchased the guy's tools, the gentleman's tools. They had a bunch of those in there. Yeah, you can just get a hammer and smack it. Put one of these down there, and kapow! You know, smack an image in there. Don't let it shift around. What I like to do is I like to use my arbor press, which is right here. And I have a little thing that I put on. We'll talk more about that later on. But I put the leather down. I put this on top of it. I put it's called a ram's foot on top of there, and then I press it in there. I found that to be the best way and the most effective way to make those impressions. But yeah, that's basically what you do with these things. And one more question we're going to go over, and then I'm going to answer your questions. Who made the new ones? Well, the old ones, I believe, were all made by a company called Craft Tool. And that's who made these original ones right there. There's also new ones out there. New ones are also made by Craft Tool. And I believe there's a few knockoffs as well that you can find different places, but mainly by Craft Tool. You can find them on Amazon, Tandy Leather. You can go to leather shops, and sometimes you'll find used ones. You can find used ones on eBay as well, and then Hobby Lobby has a few inside their store. So let's look at your questions, and let's see who's going to get the prize package, our first prize package. All right. All right. I've been trying my hand at leatherwork. Cliff Maynard. All right, Cliff. That's awesome, man. Absolutely. My uncle used one all the time when he was doing construction. Oh, the folding ruler. Yeah. I wanted to get started leather crafting. What are the bare essential tools to get started? And then I need one of those for myself. Do you have any good tips for working with leather lacing needles? I have problems getting the lace in there correctly where it will stay in the needle. Okay. And then I'm working on a French sheath. How hard is riveting and the buttons? Riveting and the buttons are not hard. Okay, let's answer all three of them. Basic tools to get started. Basic tools to get started. I will bet that if you have a shop at home or you have a toolbox at home, you probably have 60 to 75% of what you need already in that toolbox. And I'm going to have to spin around and grab a few things. First thing is cutting your leather. This is perfectly acceptable for cutting leather. There's a lot of people, including Chuck Dorset from Weaver Leathercraft, who uses one of these to cut his leather. So a lot of people say utility knife is for utility. You got to use a head knife and nothing else. Don't listen to those people out there. People are going to make you chase expensive tools. You don't need them. Now, are they more enjoyable to use? Very possible more enjoyable to use a tool that's designed for it. But you don't need to go out and buy special tools for the most part. There's a few things you're going to need, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the big thing is making sure you can cut the leather. You want a cutting mat. So I have a cutting mat right here. You're going to put a cutting mat down. You could probably start with a piece of plywood, but it's going to dull your blade pretty fast. Get a self-healing mat like this. And you could start with a hammer. I have a claw hammer here. You can use a claw hammer or a ball peen for setting rivets, for doing the 3D punches. You could start with one of these. You really want to end up getting something that's not going to mushroom the end of your tool, though, something hard like this. So definitely want to look at like a non-mooring hammer at some point, not a rubber mallet. Something that has like a nylon head would be suitable for something like that. Something that you can still hammer, get some oomph. The rubber's not gonna it's not gonna absorb the vibration like a rubber mallet would. But definitely that's something else you're gonna need. And then pretty much, if you buy rivets, rivets are gonna have a rivet setter with them. Unless you're buying high-end stuff. If you go to the craft store and buy rivets, it's gonna have a rivet setter in there. If you buy snaps, it's gonna have a snap setter in there. So all those tools you're not gonna need, but there are a few that you will need. You're going to need, in my opinion, for a nice finished looking edge beveler, which is this right here. See, it's got a little split on the end. That little split, you run it along the edges of your leather work, and then you burnish them down to get a nice smooth finished look. That's one thing that I do absolutely recommend. Another thing that you're gonna need is a set of stitching chisels. Stitching chisels, you can pick those up at a craft store. Sometimes at a craft store. You can also find them on Weaver or Tandy, or Springfield Leather. I don't know if Rev Ann is out there, but Rev Ann loves her some Springfield Leather. She's from Springfield, Missouri. So you can buy some of that. You can buy some of these there as well. And let me see, edge burnisher. I just saw one over here. Yep. The edge burnisher. So once you do take your edges and skive them, not skive, or edge, once you bevel your edges with this, you're going to take this and end up getting a nice smooth edge around the outside for a real nice professional finished look. So those are the things that you're going to need to get started. Now there's things way beyond all that stuff, but most of that's going to get you started. And if you stay tuned, go ahead and subscribe now. Everyone, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. But if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I am going to have a set of basic leather tools that I actually like to take camping with me. I'm going to put that bag together because I'm going camping here pretty soon. But this is going to be something that's in there, and this is something that's going to be in there. And then all the other basic stuff that you might already have at home. Okay, questions about the threads. Bare essential tools. You have good tips for working with leather lacing needles. Okay, so I don't really use the leather lacing. I use leather threads. I use the Ritza Tiger thread is what I really like. But what you do is if this is the eye of the needle right there, and you put the thread through the eye of the needle, what you want to do is pull it out, and at the top of the needle, you're going to want to push the needle through the thread and then pull it. That's going to give a nice tight lock on it. So when you do your stitching, and I do like this because I do a lot of saddle stitching, I do the double one. You have a needle on each end. That's going to, when you pull it tight, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay on there. The only way to get it off is to cut it off. So you're going to cut it off at the ends, right next to those needles, and then you reuse your needles. But yeah, that's definitely the best way that I found to keep that thread locked on that needle. Another question. How hard is riveting in the buttons? Riveting's really not that hard. Riveting, the big thing about riveting is to keep your riveting tool upright and straight. And I have to think about it now because it's easy for it to bend one way or the other. There's 3 different types of rivets. There's ones that have a burr on it. There's ones that you basically push through and mushroom the end over onto the other side of the leather. And then there's ones that either have like a end here with a post and then a cap, or a cap on each end, and you press them together and everything happens inside between the 2 caps. So those are the 3 types. When you're buying rivets, start with the ones double cap rivets. They're the easiest ones to do, and they come with their own tool. You can find them at pretty much any craft store will carry something like that. So definitely not that hard, but definitely keep that tool perpendicular. Let's see if we have any other questions. We got any other questions? Bless you. Thank you, Jerry. Cliff Maynard. A dead blow hammer would be good. Amazing and great place to get things is Tandy Leather. Jerry, already subscribed. Thank you for your thoughts. Okay, awesome. So yeah, dead blow hammers. I've never used a dead blow hammer, but what you have in a dead blow hammer is Let me grab, this is probably, this is a rawhide hammer, but a dead blow hammer is shaped like this. It's got a big head on it. What happens is it's a hollow head and it's got some type of steel shot or some type of weight in it. And then when you send it back, the shot slides from this end to this end. Then when you go hammer forward, the shot provides extra force when you're going down. It's going to slide like that, slide as you hammer it down and provide that extra force. A lot of people swear by dead blow hammers. I've never used it, but I definitely should try one. All right, my favorite question out of those three, let me see, read them again. Essential tools to get started, lacing needles, and French sheath. I'm going to have to say essential tools to get started. Essential tools to get started, that would be, and I'll actually give you some tools to go get started. What's that noise? The noise. The noise is probably my chair. The pop-off fit. Send your pop-off. I have to say that the question of essential tools to get started, Jerry Reichert. Jerry Reichert. Let's see if I can keep that noise from happening. That noise! What is that noise? Jerry Reichert, if you could do me a favor, send me an email to bigstackshop, or I'm sorry, bigstacks@bigstackshop.com, and give me your name, which I'm assuming is Jerry Reichert, and your address, and I will send you that package. The package is going to have a belt template. It's going to have one of my belt templates. It's going to have an edge burnisher and butter. Big Stacks butter. What is Big Stacks butter? Let me tell you, for years I have used, it slipped my mind at the moment. Neat's foot oil to condition my leather. Neat's foot oil is great for conditioning the leather. It comes from cows. The problem is if you put too much on, guess what's going to happen? It is going to darken that leather up a whole lot and it's going to soak in there really fast. So I actually came up with something right here, Big Stacks butter. Big Stacks butter. It's like a whipped butter. It's like a whipped butter right there. Pull some out. See? It's like a whipped butter. It flows like a butter, so it spreads easily, nice and even, but it soaks in like an oil. So it turns to oil immediately and soaks into your leather. Plus, it's good for your skin. All natural stuff. Nothing wacky here. It's all plant-based materials that go, well, no, it's all natural. So it's going to have beeswax in it, but everything else is plant-based in here. And this stuff works great. I'm starting to use it for all of my stuff. I'm going to switch up from using Neat's foot oil and start using this on every one of my projects. I really, really like it. And I'm going to give you some of this, Jerry Reichert, to get started as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for your questions. Keep participating. My glasses fell. Let's keep participating in this chat. Let's keep things going. I'm going to ask more questions. The more people that participate, the more, the more you participate, the better chance you have of winning some of these giveaways. Jerry Reichert, definitely send that email to bigstacks@bigstackshop.com, please, with your address. All right. See what else we have going on here. All right. Do you have any good tips for working on that? Already subscribed. Best live show out there. Thank you very much, the Pop Fit. Appreciate it very much. Awesome. Okay, so let's get on with our live stream. Q&A. All right, just a reminder, everyone. This is my 10,000 subscriber show. We're getting there. Let's see where we're at. We are at refresh. 9,983. 17 more to go. 17 more to go, everyone. All right. So, we're getting there. Participate in the chat, win prizes. It's simple. Simple thing. Participate in chat, win prizes. That's what we're doing tonight. Subscribe, like, participate in chat, win prizes. 4 steps to success. That's the business model to win prizes tonight. So, Let's talk about some of my most popular videos. I want to talk about that for a moment. My most popular videos. And if you guys have seen any of these, let me know. I got one video that had 250,000 views almost, and that was bad. No, that was my Harbor Freight Leathercraft Tool Guide. And Jerry Reichert, if you want to check out the Harbor Freight Leathercraft Tool Guide, man, that 250,000 people said it can't go wrong. I go over the different tools that are available at Harbor Freight that you could use for leather crafting. Did very well. Did very well. My second best one was bad leathercraft advice. So I was out camping with Mrs. Stacks and the dogs, and I heard some advice online, and I was like, that's horrible advice. And then I watched some more, and I said, that's more horrible advice. So without calling out names, I did call out these suggestions. No, bad advice, bad advice. That was my second most popular video, and that's actually the video that gave me my first 1,000 subscribers and helped my channel really take off. And then the last one was basically, don't make a stitching pony. I mean, you can make a stitching pony if you want to, if you really want to do the build. But if I had made a stitching pony, I would have wasted like 20 hours designing it, putting it together, finding the hardware, looking around for everything. The easiest thing to do was just go buy like a $20 stitching pony, and I reviewed, I think, 4 different stitching ponies. So those were my 3 biggest videos to date. Okay. Let's see. So you guys let me know if there's video ideas you would like to see. I would love, love, love to be able to make videos that you want. So go ahead and do me a favor in the chat. Let me know which are the videos that you would like for me to make. If it could be something as simple as, I want you to make leathercraft videos. I want you to make more woodworking videos. I think I have like maybe 1 woodworking video, more gardening videos. I want to figure out how to fix toilet that stopped up. Whatever type of video you want me to make, or it could be more detailed. I want to see videos about how to do a saddle stitch. I want to see videos about how to make this particular project. Let me know down in the comments below. I want to see what kind of videos would you guys like to see. Again, this is a prize. This is a chance to win some prizes. So whoever's video idea I like the best, and we're probably going to go on with the program, but I'm going to come back and take a look at it here in a few minutes. We're going to see who has the best video idea. The best video idea is going to get a prize pack, and that prize pack is going to be, again, the belt template. It's going to be the Leathercraft butter, the Big Stacks butter, the belt template, and also, where I put it? Oh, the edge burnisher. So someone else is going to get those 3 again. So do me a favor, let me know what kind of video you want to see. Okay. I'm going to go back up a little bit. What dyes, what is the best to use? I use Fibings right here. Leather dye, I think it's alcohol based. I think it's an alcohol, yeah, it's an alcohol based dye, low VOC, so it's not going to stink up the whole shop. That's what I like to use. Or you can also just keep oiling your leather and oiling your leather until it gets darker and darker. You can do that, but it's going to shift and get darker or lighter over time, depending on whether it dries out or whether it absorbs water or different things like that. You could do that. That's the old school natural way, or you can use an alcohol based dye. That's what I like to use. What's the best tool to check the thickness of leather? I would say a caliper. Let's see if I have one here. I have a caliper somewhere, but I'm not sure if I have one readily available. Let's see. We have a digital caliper. I just kind of go by what it says, or just kind of guess. I don't get hung up on this leather needs to be exactly, yeah, I don't see it. I don't get hung up on this leather needs to be exactly 8 ounces or 9 ounces. I'm like, yeah, that's thin. That's kind of what I want to use, or that's like a medium. That's what I want to use, or it is real heavy duty thick stuff. That's what I want to use. So that's how I judge it. But I would use a caliper to measure the thickness of your leather. They make digital calipers that you can buy. You can buy them at Harbor Freight for like $10 or something like that. That's probably the best way to measure your leather. And then just find a conversion chart that goes from millimeters or fractions of an inch to the actually ounces of leather. I think millimeters is probably the easiest one to convert. Let's see. Sinew. Have you ever worked with sinew using the lace veg tan? I have not used sinew. For anyone that's in the has not heard of sinew, sinew is actually a natural fiber that occurs within the animals, and that's like tendons and stuff like that's made out of sinew. And people traditionally have used sinew to actually lace leathercraft. I have never done that before. I imagine that it would break down over time, but it might be very durable to begin with. Again, I like the Ritza Tiger thread. It's actually UV rated, so even if it sits out in the sun, it's not going to break down. And if you do a saddle stitch on it, that it's not going to come apart. I actually had a saddle stitch right here that started coming apart. See that's for a hatchet. It's to cover up the blade, like a hatchet sheath. And it started to come apart, and I tried to even pull it apart some more. It's not coming out. I mean, I'm just gonna have to cut every little piece and pull it out because I want to restitch this right here. But yeah, the saddle stitch is definitely the way to go, and I would use a UV protected thread so the sun's not going to beat down on it as well. Jim Dewey. Hey everyone, hit the like button. Very awesome. Jerry Reichert. Okay. I'm all for basic leathercraft projects. Okay, awesome. Karen Lathan. Pyrography on veg tan. Also leather stamping and how to prepare the leather for such. Okay, leather stamping, how to prepare your leather for leather stamping, and pyrography on leather. I believe there's someone out there that's very, very knowledgeable who's listening right now, the Wood Burning Warrior. Have you done pyrography on leather? That's basically using a wood burning pen to burn leather. I always wanted to do this. I wanted to get an old crappy piece of leather that might have like stains and stuff on it and make a map of the new world, and it'd be like, you know, treasure be here be monsters. I think that would be cool, and I would do that with leather pyrography. Have you done that before? Wood Burning Warrior, if you're still there, have you done pyrography on veg tan? I use a laser engraver on veg tan all the time, either to engrave the image or to cut it out, but I really haven't messed with it much beyond that. Let's see. Any other video ideas? Give me one more. Someone give me another video idea. I want at least 3 of them so I can make a judgment. So I'll tell you what, keep it going in the chat. Give me your video ideas, things that you want to see me make videos about. Let's see how many subscribers we're at right now. 9984. We're going to keep it going. Anyone that hasn't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. This is not my full-time gig. This is my part-time gig. This takes a lot of time. This is a daily grind. This is every day you're spent either making a video, making changes to your page, coming up with ideas, editing your videos, filming your videos, turning videos into shorts so you can get new subscribers. It is a daily grind, and I really love doing it. I really love this community we've created where we're all sharing ideas with each other. But this is not my full-time gig, so I wish I had endless amounts of money to make all kinds of things happen. But definitely, let's see. Stamping the basket weave pattern. Custom Craftworks LLC says, oh, Mission in Custom Craftworks LLC says hello. How you doing, my friend? And then stamping the basket weave pattern would be a great video. Like this right here, this basket weave pattern right there. Yeah, basket weave patterns actually, it's pretty easy to do. I was surprised how easy it was to do, but I could definitely show you guys that. What is your name? Make a custom tank bid for Harley Davidson. Yeah, brother. I'm a Harley fan myself. That's a great idea, Jerry Reichert, because I'm actually, my bibs come apart on my tank. I'm actually gonna make a new bib. I'm probably gonna laser engrave it and engrave a image on it. So, Cliff Maynard. Cliff Maynard, I think I'm going to give you the prize. So you're going to get a can of Big Stacks butter. You're going to get an edge burnisher and a belt template. Cliff Maynard, please, please, please send me an email to bigstacks@bigstackshop.com with your name and address. I'm assuming it's going to say Cliff Maynard when it comes in. And looking forward to that, my friend. I'm going to send you those things. Again, Big Stacks butter. Big Stacks butter. That's my new Jammy Jam. That's what I'm using now to condition my leather. It's like a butter. It's like whipped butter. You see that? It's like whipped butter. But when it goes on, so it's flows kind of like a butter when you put it on, but it soaks in like a leather real easily. It turns to liquid as soon as you put it on. I don't even know how this happened, but I came across it and I'm like, man, this thing's great. What it does is it helps you control the amount of oil that actually gets absorbed into your leather. And it actually has great protective and conditioning properties for it as well. Big Stacks butter, you're going to get a can of that. This is going to be available for sale very soon. It's just a matter of getting enough stock of this stuff so I can do it. So thank you very much, Cliff Maynard. All right, let's get on with our program. We're just moving right along. We need to get to 10,000 subscribers. This is my 10,000 subscriber party, but I don't have 10,000 subscribers yet. I wanted to share this with you live, getting to 10,000. Let's see where we're at right now. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing so right now because I really want to get to 10,000. Oh, we're still at 99.84. That's all right. We're going to still be at 99.84. All right. Okay. So I wanted to share with you guys how I come up with new projects for the free plans that I give out. Sometimes I go on to Pinterest and I'm exploring Pinterest, and I'm actually a Pinterest black belt master. Not really, but I have setups for woodworking projects, for grilling, because I like to do grilling and smoking meats. I have a section just for leathercraft, and then it's broken down even more. This is leathercraft patterns. This is leathercraft templates. This is leathercraft projects that are games. This is ones that are pouches. This is one that are wallets. This is one things to do with belts. And I have it all organized. And I get on there and I start tooling around and looking for things, and I say, you know, that looks interesting. I could bet I can make something like that. Now, I don't 100% copy what I see. You never want to do that. That's one way that I end up making patterns. One thing is you got to think to yourself, there's a problem that needs to be solved. So what is the problem? And what you do is you make your leathercraft project to solve that problem. So that's where I came up with the idea for the cord keeper. Basically, the little circle that folds in half, looks like a taco to hold your cords. The strap keychain, that's pretty much keychains are a standard thing. The handle holder for the cast iron pan, that's going to be one of those things as well. Is like, how do I solve that problem? I'm tired of grabbing a pot holder to continually use my cast iron pan, so I just made a little cover that slips right on it. And sometimes I'm in the store and I'm like, well, that's interesting. That looks kind of cool. But I bet I can make it better, or it's simple enough. Why don't I just make it instead of buying it? And sometimes I buy it just so I have the dimensions. I know what I'm looking for. And I'll show you what I got now. Now, cookout season is coming up, but here's the problem with cookout season. If I go to the cookout and I'm hanging out and I've got my drink in one hand, let's get my drink. I've got my favorite drink in one hand, and then I've got my plate with my food in the other. And I mean, I could probably drink if the cap's not on it, but I can't eat my food. So I need some place to put my drink. If there's somewhere to set it down, that's cool. But there's not always a place to set it down. That's where this comes in. I thought this was a pretty cool idea. And I saw this at, of all places, like Ollie's Bargain Outlet. And I said, you know, I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to figure out how to make one of those. This is called the bottle holder. Goes on your belt. bam, right there. And you slide your bottle in there. So I'm going to slide my bottle in there. Let's see if it fits. That might be a problem if it doesn't. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but that's okay. So I'm going to slide my bottle in there. Then now that my bottle's there, I can pick up my hamburger off my plate and eat it. Problem solved. So I'm going to figure out how to make one of these. So what I'll do is in this case, I found something in this store and I'm like, I'm going to replicate that. So I started thinking, how can I replicate something like this? What can I do to replicate this? I don't really like the way this looks. I would like it more open. I would like it more. I mean, it probably keeps the drink a little cool, but it doesn't matter. It's all going to sweat and get nasty. So maybe like if I open it up more, all that sweat, instead of getting stuck in here, all the condensation will actually have the opportunity to dry out. And a smaller piece of leather or a gap in here will allow this leather to dry out faster. So I said, let's look at some straps. I got the idea of maybe let's take a strap across here, a strap across here, and then one that comes here and it loops around. It loops around this way so you can slide it on your belt, and then comes down and comes up right there. So I draw a little sketch up and I try to see how it's going to look before I actually put the leather together. And I say, okay, I got an idea right there. We have our piece that's going to come up down that way. It's going to come up, and then we're going to have a couple straps going around. The straps are the inside and outside. I don't know. Let's figure this out. So then I'll cut some strips of leather, which is what I did right here. And I say, okay, I got 2-inch strips, which I cut, and 1.5-inch strips. We're going to see which one we like better. Let's start with the 1.5-inch strips. So we're going to take our 1.5-inch strips, and we're going to play around and make one loop, right? And that's going to be on the bottom. And then we're going to have this sucker right here come up right there. And this is going to be the bottom of it, right? And then come up here. We're going to have another loop, but then we got to look, that's the inside of the leather, that's the flesh side, that's not the grain side, which is right there. You always want your grain side showing, so maybe I flip it around. Do I flip it around like this? I'll put it together, and I'll have another loop right here. I kind of play around with things. I might make a couple of demo pieces, try them out. Do they need to be bigger? Do they need to be smaller? And that's really how I come up with my plans. And then I go to Illustrator, and then I draw out my plans. I draw up the template that you would use, and that's how I end up getting my plans. And then I just take that sheet from Illustrator, and that gets turned into a PDF, and that's what gets sent out. I see some activity on the chat. Let me take a look at it real quick. All right. Let's see. Butter. I love leather butter. Michigan Custom Craftworks, thank you very much. Love you some leather butter. Karen Latham, Dremel, using the flex shaft and ways to use different kinds of bits for polishing and using the polishing paste. The only really, I mean, you can polish leather, but I really don't, I maybe buff leather. I don't really polish it. I might buff it with some type of rag, either use like a terry cloth. You can use like, I don't know what it's called, the ribbed like undershirt. We used to call them wife beaters when I was younger. It's really not a nice term, but that's what they have been called, the wife beater. They're good for polishing. Even just a cotton t-shirt, you use something like that, you can get a nice buff on something. I've never used the Dremel for that before, but I have used a Dremel for actually polishing metal. I've done that before. I've never done anything with the leather. And then Cliff Maynard said, I sent my info. I hope I've done it right. Please let me know if I did. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a peek real quick at my email. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. This is my 10,000 subscriber party. 10,000 subscribers I'm trying to get to tonight. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please, 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 please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I want to share this moment with everyone that's out there, with all of the people that come in and who are part of the Big Stacks family of makers. Let's see. I did get a Jerry Reichert. I got yours. All right, let's see. See how many subscribers we have now. And we're still at 99.84. Tell your friends to come on this live stream. All right. Let's grab that. Ooh. $99.84. Okay, polishing the silver pieces. Yep. The Dremel is nice for polishing the silver. How do you sharpen a round clicker belt punch tool? Cliff Maynard. I got your info. Let me see if that's. I got Jerry Reichert's. I did not get yours yet, Cliff, but it might be coming. Let me hit refresh real quick. Jerry Reichert. Jerry Reichert, send it to, I'm sorry, Cliff Maynard. Cliff Maynard, send it to Big Stacks. That's plural, Big Stacks at bigstacksshop.com. There's 2 S's there. Big Stacks Shop. So bigstacksshop.com. Big Stacks at bigstacksshop.com. Let's go back. Okay. Polishing tools. How do you sharpen a round clicker belt punch tool? I have yet to do that because I always cut mine by hand, but I know that sharpening round pieces can be difficult. And what I use is I use a diamond. I use diamond hones, and I've got 2 right here. One that's fine and one that's super fine. Like 2 ladies in the club when I was in my 20s. We got the fine girl and the super fine girl. So I use both of these. I start with the fine one. And I don't go where the bevel's at. I go on the back side. I'll sharpen on the back side. And then basically what you're doing is you're just working that dull edge off if you go on the back side. Sounds like my neighbor has his dogs out. So apologize, guys, if that ends up on the video. All right. So let's see. That's what I would do. All right. Back to the live stream. We're not at 10,000 yet. We're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers tonight. I want to share this with everyone. I want to share everyone in the Big Stacks family. I want to share it with you this moment when I hit 10,000. All right. So we were talking about my projects, and we were talking about the beverage holder. So the beverage holder is probably going to be one of my next projects. It's going to be up there with the tuna can caddy because we can't make a snuff can caddy on YouTube. But I know. We know what it's about. And it's not just about tobacco. I mean, if you're trying to quit smoking and you want to use the Zen pouches, same shape, boom, right on the belt. If you like Icebreakers gum, same shape, boom, right on the belt. If you like tuna fish, same shape, boom, keep your tuna fish right on the belt. So I want to know what projects would you guys like to see me make? And give you actually templates for. I give free templates because I want to share the fun of leathercraft with everyone. So I do give my templates out free. But which plans would you like to see? And I actually am going to be giving away more prizes for people that help me come up with different ideas. And I want to see at least 5 ideas out there, something that hasn't been mentioned in this live stream yet, something that I haven't done before yet. Give me 5 good ones. 5 good ones. And the people that participate and give me the 5 good ones, one of you is going to get a chance, or all of you are going to get a chance, but one of you is actually going to win the prize. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to do some more butter, the Big Stacks butter, right here, the leather butter, the Big Stacks butter. We're going to do one of those. We're going to do another belt template. Okay. And then we're going to do an assorted pack of a project pack. What I've done is I've cut out some strap keychain blanks, okay, and some mystery braids. And don't use a mystery braid as a potential project. That's just come up with something really, really cool that you think you would like for me to make. So this would be one right here, the mystery braid, the strap keychain, and the key tag. Where's the key tags? So someone's going to get a handful of these along with their Big Stacks butter and the belt template. So if you guys have ideas on projects you'd like me to make, please put them down there as well. Please put them down there. Let's take a look real quick. Okay. Polishing tools. Nope. I don't see anything yet. Okay. Some projects that I have done in the past, I did the dresser valet, which is basically it just folds up in the corners and you sit on your dresser and you put your stuff in there. I've done the strap keychain. I have done the key fob, the key tag, the one that I just showed right here. Boom, that one right there, okay. I've done the cast iron skillet handle. I have done the punch caddy. So this thing right here to hold your punches. These are all projects. So everyone's going to get a copy of these at the end of the stream today. I'm going to make it available. I'm going to put it in as a comment and pin the comment in there. Everyone's going to be able to get all these plans. If you haven't gotten these plans yet, they're going to be in there. Any ideas? Any ideas on things you would like to see? All right. If you haven't done a shout out yet in the chat, please do. Please give me a quick hello, a shout out, see how you're doing. Well, here's an idea. Pet collars, gremlin bell hanger, Jerry Reichert, gremlin bell hanger. Okay, so the gremlin bell. For those of you who don't know what a gremlin bell is, and I think I had one here in my shop here recently. The gremlin bell is something that hangs on your motorcycle. You put it on your motorcycle. You cannot go out and buy one. It has to be gifted to you. And the bell, as you go down the road, rings, and it keeps all the little gremlins that when they tear apart your bike and cause problems, it keeps those off of your bike. It keeps your bike running solid. And I think it goes back to the idea of like pilots. A lot of your initial motorcycle riders were people that were pilots during World War I, World War II. And there was always talk of gremlins there, gremlins tearing apart planes. So I think that's where it came from, the gremlin bell. A gremlin bell hanger would be something that's pretty cool. Kind of simple. I'm going to do something a little bit more advanced like that. But let's see. Pet collars. Pet collars is a definite one because you can customize those. You can make those and sell them. You can make them for your own pets. You can make them for friends' pets. Let's see. Okay, I hope to do it right this time. I'm not the best with computers. Neither am I, which is the reason all my live chats seem to have issues. I don't see it, but it doesn't mean it hasn't come in yet. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to come in. Let's see where we're at. How many do we have? 99.84. We still have 16 more to go. This is going to feel like a filibuster tonight because I want to stick around until I get to 10,000. And I want you guys to stick around with me. So I'd love to get to 10,000. Okay. Some more ideas. I want to see four more ideas. 4 more ideas out there on projects that I can make. Is there any project that you want to see? It could be anything from, I don't know, what's the next project you want to make? What is the next project you want to make? I could show you how to make whatever it is. If you want to make a cover for your key fob for your truck, if you want to make a knife sheath, whatever projects that you want to make, I'm more than happy to put these templates out there free of charge to you guys. Now, like I said, this isn't my main gig, but I still give these out free of charge because I want to share with the community everything that's in there. So let's see. Tool rolls, okay. Jerry Record again. Knife, multi-tool holster, tool rolls. That's nice. That's a good idea. Multi-tool holster. Multi-tools are all about the same size, so a holster for that would be kind of cool. And that would be, I think, kind of a wet form project, so that would be pretty interesting. Tool rolls. Tool rolls are always exciting. You can make tool rolls for anything. You can make tool rolls for wrenches. Here, I made some right here. These are made out of denim, but I have a denim tool roll right here to keep my wrenches. Okay. And then you just roll it on up. And I have a strap that I tie it together with. Tool rolls are awesome, man. So I have tool rolls for my wrenches. Tool rolls are great. You could use them for wrenches. You can use them for leather crafting tools. Might not be a bad idea to do a custom one for the bug out bag that you keep all my different punches and stuff nice and orderly. That's a great idea, Jerry. And then you said knife sheath. Let's see, leather journals. Oh, Karen, that's a good one. Leather journals. Leather journals. Oh, the multi-tool holster. That was the other one. A knife or a multi-tool holster. Leather journals. I've actually explored this recently. I think back to Indiana Jones and when he's flipping through his little journal with all his notes when he's trying to solve the whatever puzzle it is to get the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail or whatever it is. He always pulls out his little leather-bound journal, looks something up, puts it together. A nice leather journal cover that has a strap that comes around that maybe has a place for a pen in it too. That would be really cool. That would be awesome. That would definitely be cool. So let me see what else. Any other ideas out there? Leather journals. Okay, so that's two more. And someone besides Jerry and Karen, someone else, give me some ideas for projects that you would like to see. Any type of projects. I'm going to go back to my itinerary and keep going, but that's we're trying to do this giveaway. I just want to get some more people participating in it before we actually do the giveaway. Let's see. I just want to remind everyone I appreciate you coming out. This is my 10,000 subscriber party. We're going to get to 10,000 people tonight. We are at 9,984, I think, at last count. Let's see where we're at. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Let's see. Let's see. How many people do we have on board right now? 9984. Let's see. 9982. We had some people unsubscribe. That's not good. No unsubscribes. Come on, guys. All right, 9984. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep going. This is my 10,000 subscriber party. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have a friend out there you think can subscribe, please get them to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000. Glasses case. Jerry, that's another great idea. I'm actually working on one of those. Actually, I forgot where it was, at Dollar Tree or something, and I saw a glasses case, and I was like, it's $1.25. Let me pick it up and see if I can replicate it. That might not be a bad idea. Let's see what we have. How about leather bracelets and watch straps? That's a good idea too, Cliff. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. So two more ideas I'm looking for out there. Anyone else you want to see projects? Any projects that you would like to see? Please, please, please. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Let's see. $99.82. Well, that stinks. All right. Leather bracelets and watch straps. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool because you can customize a bracelet. My nephew actually wanted to make a bracelet for his girlfriend, so he came over. This was last year for Christmas. Maybe year before for Christmas. So he came over and I was like, okay, what do you want to put on it? And you want to put any like little shapes? I've got all kinds of little stamps that have different symbols on them or her name. So he put her name on it. And very, very great beginner project. Leather bracelet. It was awesome. And then, how about leather bracelets and straps, leather journals? Very awesome. Very awesome. The other one I was working on was, a card holder, so like business card holder. The business card holder would be awesome too. People still do business cards, believe it or not, and just like a little pouch to put in that would open and close real easily. You don't want it super tight. But yeah, something like that you could throw in your pocket. That would be great. Also, the minimalist wallet. I have a minimalist wallet. I want to make a kind of my own version of it. Right here, this is my minimalist wallet. I made a couple of these. Everyone that I made these for loves them because, I mean, obviously you can see it's small. It doesn't take up much room in your pocket. But then when you need cash, bam! Look at that other side. You got a little bit of cash right there. Don't get excited. That's not 100. That's a 5. I'm still we're celebrating the 10,000 subscriber party. If it was maybe the million subscriber party, that'd be a different story. But we're gonna get to 10,000 tonight. Even if people drop off like they have, we're getting the 10,000. So let's see what we're gonna do. Any other ideas? One more idea out there. Someone give me another idea. What would you like me to say? What would you like to see me make in my leather shop? What would you like a free template for? Let me know. All right. Come on, guys. Let me know. What else would you like? All right, let's get moving on this. Humor. Let's talk about humor. You gotta be myself, and I'm a buffoon. There's no question about that. I am a certified buffoon. There is gentlemen that I've hung out with since high school. We are the buffoon brigade. We are just stupid. There was in high school. There's jocks. There's guys that worked on cars. They called them greasers back in the day. There's people that listened to heavy metal and had long hair. We called them grits. There's country boys. There's all kinds of stuff. I was friends with all those people. I'm a friendly person. I've been friends with all those people. But the ones that I hung out with was the Buffoon Brigade. And they are and still continue to be the funniest people I've ever met. Shout out to those guys right now. They're probably not watching because they're buffoons. But there would be Jeffrey, Fred, Mashad, and Neil Ed, those guys. A couple of them I met in college. But yeah, we've pretty much we've been buddies ever since then. It's over 20 years now. We're all good friends. And humor has been a big part of what I do on a daily basis. And so I wanted to bring it into my videos as well. So I tried to do little bits of humor here and there. And I wanted to have some videos to show you guys. I did not have any videos. I couldn't find a way without subscribing to an extra program to show you guys my videos. But I've done everything from, I was trying to dull out a punch so we could show how to sharpen it. And I basically, every time I dulled it out more, I had more bruises or something like that. And finally I had a sling in my arm, I had a neck brace on, and I was like, ah, like I was the one, not the punch, that got beat up. I've done goofy things in my shop. Do you guys like this stuff in the videos? I put it in the videos, little sketches and stuff I had where I bought a laser engraver for some guy, and or I tried to, and he was kind of a jerk to me based on the guy really wasn't a jerk to me in real life, but he basically told me, unless I'm going to spend boatloads of money, don't buy a laser engraver. So, but you can buy a underpowered laser engraver. It's just going to take a little longer to engrave your stuff. You're not doing it for production, to just in your own workshop having fun. So I've done different things like that in the humor. Do you guys like the humor in the videos? You want me to continue to do that, or you just give me straight up, give me the videos. Let's just make it fun and all about leathercraft or different things like that. Coin holder or key ring? That's very interesting. I like the comedy with your leathercraft videos. Thank you very much, Michigan Custom Leather Craft Works. I really appreciate that because I try to keep it lighthearted and fun. Try not to be insulting to anyone. That's not what this is about. I'm not an insulting type of person. I'll insult my friends, don't get me wrong. I told them if one day something happens to me and I can't walk and I'm in a wheelchair, or I get Bell's palsy and my face droops a little bit, I was like, please do not treat me special. Make fun of me. Make fun of me. I want to feel normal. And we make fun of each other now all the time. We're pretty hard on each other. But that's just buddies hanging out. Some of my coworkers are the same way. If we didn't bully each other, the day would be quite boring. And it's all in good fun. But I try to keep things lighthearted and fun. That's what I like to do. But I never want to be hateful. I never want to be hurtful. That's not my way at all. So definitely, yeah, just have fun, joke around, have a good time. Try not to cross that line. Let's see what we have here. So yeah, you do like it, Jim Dewey. You do like it. Cliff Maynard, always have humor in life and videos. Okay. Now, Jim, I want to go back to your thing, your coin holder. So I actually had an idea for a video or for a project that I used to make, and it was actually this key fob, but it was a little bit bigger. And if you go to Ollie's, no, not Ollie's, Aldi's, if you go to Aldi's, where there's some other grocery stores, you need a quarter to push in the shopping cart and you do your shopping, and then you return your shopping cart and the quarter pops back out and you put it in your pocket. Everyone uses credit cards these days. I mean, you saw my wallet. So a lot of times I didn't have a quarter, so I actually made one of these and I made a little pouch on the back to keep my quarter in. I called it the Quarter Keeper Keychain. It's one of my first projects I used to make. That was actually a fun project that a lot of people liked, and there was like quite the demand for it from people that I knew. I wasn't really selling my stuff at that point in time, but that's not a bad one. I might show you guys how to modify it and make the quarter keeper on the back of the keychain. So let's see. Smash the thumbs tonight, guys. Help him out. I appreciate that, Michigan Custom Craft Works. That's awesome. Thank you very much, my friend. Um, Definitely smash the like button. Smash the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please, it just takes a second, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers tonight. 10,000 subscribers. If I have to, I might just end up doing a filibuster until we get there. So let's go on with this right here. Let's see how many subscribers we're at, and then I'm gonna pick a winner. We still have prizes to give away. Prizes to give away. 99.82. Ooh, that stings. That's gonna be tough to dig out of that one. So let's see what we have. Okay. So let's go back. Pet collars, gremlin bell hanger, multi-tool holder, tool rolls. Let's see. Coin holder on the key ring. Coin holder on the key ring. I kind of like that one, but also like leather journals. Leather journals. Coin holder on the key ring. Jim, you were kind of reading my mind. I'll tell you what, I'll send both of you guys some prizes. Those are both really good answers. I'll send you guys both some prizes there. I don't know if I have enough edge burnishers, but if I don't have enough edge burnishers, I'll see if I can find one out there. If I can't find another one, I'll get you something else cool that I do have in my shop. So that would be great right there. Oh no, this was no edge burnishers. This was these things right here, the project blanks basically. So yeah, I'm gonna send both of you guys that. So Karen Latham and Jim Dewey, please send me an email to Big Stacks, that's plural, Big Stacks, at bigstacksshop.com. You send me an email there, give me your address, and I will mail you your winnings from today's prizes, from today's your giveaway prizes. I will mail them to you. So please send me an email there, bigstacks at bigstacksshop.com. Please send that email. Let me double check and see. Jerry, I think you were the one. Was it Jerry or was it Cliff that had issues sending the email? Let's see if it's coming in. Oh, let's close out of this. Jerry or Cliff? I can't remember. Yep. Let's see. Any more subscribers yet? Ooh, 99.83. We're moving back in the right direction. Thank you very much. I don't know who just subscribed, but thank you. I appreciate that. Let's get back to the chat. Okay. Let's get back to our chat. Wet molding leather. Karen. Currently working on a cigarette case. This is my first attempt. Do you have any tips? Oh, Margaret, look at you. You don't smash the thumb on Joe. You might teach people some special words. Thanks for chiming in, Margaret. I really appreciate it. Margaret's been a friend of mine for a long time. Cliff, may my info come through this time? No. I'll keep on trying till I get it right. I'll tell you what, Cliff, if you send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and that would be at bigstackshop.com, I could try, if the email's not working, we can try doing that as well to send you your prizes. Let's take a look. Karen Latham, wet molding leather, currently working on a cigarette case. This is my first attempt. You have any tips? Soak it and soak it and soak it. And then wrap whatever you have, whatever you want to form it around, in saran wrap. And then if you can, if you have like and I've never done this, but this is what I've heard. If you have a vacuum sealer, stuff the leather in the vacuum sealer. Try to clamp it off or something. I don't know if you can clamp it off, but anyway, you can get it in the vacuum sealer and then suck all that air out of it. That's, I've heard, is the best way to do wet molding. Really, if you do clamps, I mean, that would be good, but definitely soak the heck out of that leather. Wrap it around with however you want to lay it out, like the cigarette case. I imagine you would bend it over the case and then kind of to the side like that. So you want to clamp those sides down. But yeah, if you have and we'll try this sometime. If we take a vacuum sealer, like what you would vacuum seal your meat, if you separate out your meat and freeze it in smaller portions, I've heard that is the absolute best way to do it. And I have one of those, so we'll try it out sometime. But vacuum sealing, I've heard, is the way to go. But yeah, if you want to soak the heck out of that leather, and you want to get nice and pliable, and you want to try to fit all those contours perfectly. I've done it with, I think, knives before, but I haven't done it with a cigarette case before. You shouldn't be smoking. Smoking's not good for you. Smoking's not good for you. But there's people that want to buy a cigarette case, so you do tell them no. Yeah, heck yeah, you're gonna sell it to them, or you're gonna give it to them. Might be for a friend. But yeah, definitely that would be the way to do. That would definitely be the way to do the wet molding. So let's see what we got. Margaret, are you a subscriber? If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers tonight. We got like 18 to go. I think 18, 17. So let's see. Let's see where we're at. Oh, 17 to go. We're still at 17. Margaret's very familiar with the Bethune Brigade. I was just talking about the friends from high school and college, Neil, Fred, Mike, Jeff. You know the Bethunes, Margaret. So you're very familiar with them. She was around there as well. I was actually, this is interesting. So Margaret's husband is a friend of mine, and he's actually, I mentioned Matt earlier, who was very helpful with me and teaching me how to do video. Matt is good friends with Margaret's husband, and I knew Margaret from all the way from like grade school. And in college, we became good friends, and I was actually a bridesmaid, if you can believe that, in her wedding. Now, I didn't wear a dress. I wore a tuxedo, but still, it was pretty cool. That's the first time I was ever a bridesmaid. Let's see what we got. Karen Latham. So Karen Latham and Jim Dewey, please, I'm going to give you the leather packages, the butter, the Big Stacks butter, right here, and the belt template. Just real quick to recap, the Big Stacks butter, it goes on your leather. It's a butter, like that. Goes on like a butter, soaks in like oil, but nice and slow. It's controlled. It flows like oil, really, or it flows like, kind of flows like oil once you get it to work on. It turns into oil, and it soaks into your leather, but it doesn't oversaturate it. You have much more control over it. I love the Big Stacks butter. Once I fiddled around with stuff, and I came up with this. I don't know how I stumbled on it, but I stumbled on it. But man, this stuff's great. I love it. The butter's great. Let's see what we have. All right, Cliff, sent message on Facebook. I think I do have it on Facebook. All right, let's see where we're at. If you know anyone that's interested in leathercraft, please tell them to join and subscribe. Please join our chat and subscribe. I would love to get to 10,000 tonight. That's our goal. We're getting to 10,000 tonight. That is our goal. We're going to see how close we can reach our goal. And this might be a filibuster until we get there. So let's go with the next thing. Ooh, Q&A. Q&A. More time for Q&A. More time for Q&A. All right, so I want you to ask me your questions down here, just like Karen did. Karen asked about wet forming leather. I'm here to help you guys out. I don't know everything. I've played around with some things. Some things I'm definitely much better at than others. Some things I haven't done at all. But let's talk a little bit. The last video I did was basically symphony and leathercraft. Did you guys like, I don't know if you saw the video. It was basically classical music. And I was making these little keychains right here and putting different designs on them and painting them. So once you start off with this, then you put an image on it like this. You stamp an image on it. You guys see that? That's an eagle. And then once you stamp an image on it, you paint it. So I painted them right there. That one's yellow. Let me find something that's a little bit more colorful. Here's one. And then you put the ring on it. So I do have this one. There was a rose that I had painted. And then this one has a rainbow trout on it. You guys see that? So I painted them and then I finished them and put the key rings on it. And it was all done to classical music. Did you guys like that one? Never done music to my videos before. That was something different I tried. But I did have one comment that said, please no music. And I'm like, please, every once in a while, maybe I'll do some music, but most of the time I'm not going to do it. But let me know what you guys think about that. Did you like music in the video if you saw the video? So people ask me about how I made these, specific things about it. Let's see. First up was asking about the stamps. So again, those stamps, and I went over some of these earlier. These are leather stamps. 3D and 2D leather stamps. You see, this is the one for the horse right there. See, that's a two-dimensional horse, basically, just lines. That's some of the ones that I did. And then there's also a 3D version that has a little bit more detail on it. Can you guys see that? It's not just lines that get stamped in there. It actually has some depth to it in different places. These are available at, I got most of mine from Tandy Leather, some of them from Hobby Lobby. They have the best selections. You can buy the older ones, the discontinued ones, at eBay. They will sell them there. Some of them are pretty expensive. Some of them are fairly cheap. I think these are like $4 a piece. It's not that expensive. So you can definitely start your own collection. And then when I purchased that gentleman's tools off of Facebook Marketplace, his dad's tools, there was a bunch of these in there, but they were the 2D ones. So I was trying out a lot of these different stamps that he had in there. But the question was, where do you get these from? And primarily, I would say Tandy Leather first, and then I would say go to Hobby Lobby, because they have them there. They'll have them in like 3-packs, and they'll have like the horse head by itself, the horse walking with the little baby, and then like maybe a guy riding on the horse's back. They'll have like sets of 3. So they'll have those there. And then you can also buy the older ones on eBay as well, or private marketplace or something like that. Leather tools don't pop up very often on Facebook Marketplace, so when you see them, definitely want to take advantage and see if there's anything that you would like to get off of there. You can also 3D print them. So Margaret's husband printed me some right here. A friend of mine who is in the motorcycle community, actually he went down, died in a motorcycle wreck, and his riding club asked, I wanted to do something for his riding club. So what I did is I took the little symbol that he used, which was a skeleton hand given a middle finger on the inside of a heart. I gave it to Margaret's husband, and he has a 3D printer. He actually 3D printed this for me, a couple of them, so that I can make these keychains. And they came out great. And you know what? couple of weeks ago, I ended up getting a 3D printer as well, specifically to make leather stamps. So if there's any specific leather stamps you would like to see, I would definitely be able to make some of those, and we can try it out. I'm not as adept with this as Margaret's husband is, but it's still a lot of fun, and I do have some custom stuff I want to make. And you can laser, I have a laser engraver. You can laser engrave leather all day long. It's not the same as something stamped on there. I think something stamped on there looks a lot more professional. Laser engraving is nice. It can have somewhat of a more detailed look than actually stamping, but I like the class of a stamp into the leather. And what I use is my Harbor Freight arbor press. Someone asked me, where did you get your stamping machine? And this is my Harbor Freight arbor press. It is not designed for leather work. It is not designed for leather work. It is designed for pressing stuff in a machine shop or in an auto shop or something like that, pressing bearings in or something of that nature. But it makes a great leather press. So especially for stamping those dies. I put an extra long handle on mine to give me a little bit more force when I come down. I also upgraded it by putting a big stack sticker on the outside right here, which is pretty exciting in its own. Now it's a big stacks arbor press. So this Harbor Freight arbor press, just basically you stamp it like that. There is something that you put on top of your stamp because the stamps are designed. The stamps are designed. You can see the back of these stamps. There's a hole there to put your handle in because you're just supposed to put a handle in there and stamp it that way. Okay. So this end doesn't work that great with the press unless you have one of these, which was another question I received in that video. And it's like, what is that little doohickey that's on top of your stamp that you put on top? Then you have a nice flat surface. That is called a ram's foot. I got mine from Tandy. Tandy does not sell the ram's foot anymore. Tandy only sells, I think, a longer version of it. But I noticed that recently, although it's out of stock, that Weaver Leather Supply has started selling the ram's foot. So that's awesome right there. The ram's foot from Weaver Leathercraft. So what questions do you guys have for me? Let's see. Oh man, I like this. Okay. So, okay. Michigan Custom Craftworks, LLC. That was a lot of keychains in the one video you did. That was a lot of keychains, my friend. I probably made like, I don't know, 50 of them. I didn't even finish painting them yet. They're still, half of them are done, half of them are not. See, a lot of them, like this one, doesn't, this part's finished, but I didn't put the rings on it yet. And then some of these, there's a lot of blanks that are still there that I haven't had time to mess with. But it's very cathartic, is that the word? Just sitting there painting the leather, doing different things. And I actually learned a lot about painting leather. Some of it's similar. I've done like oil and acrylic paintings before. Some of it's similar to that, and some of it has its own set of rules, which I found very interesting once I started playing around with it and watching other people's videos and listen to some of the pros talk about it, people that paint stuff all the time. One of my next videos is going to be on painting leather and the rules and what seems to be the most effective way to do it. But yeah, there was a lot of leather stamps there. All right, let's see what the next comment is. What paint? Acrylic thinned out or leather dye? I want to use that turquoise. Can you use thinned out acrylic? Do not, I would not use thinned out acrylic. And I'll actually show you. Who is that? Oh, it's Karen. Karen, okay, let's take a look at this, Karen. Turquoise is actually a popular color. It's a popular color right now. It's kind of a flashback to the 80s. Hot pink and turquoise and all those colors are popular. But I've got right here. There is specific paint. Let me grab the turquoise to show you. There's paint specifically designed for leather. It is an acrylic paint. It's called acrylic leather paint. You want to use a paint that's specifically designed for leather because what it does is It goes on. It's going to cover what you need it to cover. You can put on even a little thicker. And what it's going to do is, make sure this is locked in there. Okay. That's Angelus paint, by the way. There's Angelus paint, and I tried another one. I like the Angelus better. It is a flexible acrylic, so when it dries, it remains flexible, so it flexes with your leather, whether it's a belt or any type of movement that your leather may have. The paint flexes with it. It doesn't crack. Doesn't seem to peel. I haven't had that experience yet. I've never seen anything that was painted leather where it was actually peeling off. But there is a lot. There is some colors you thin out, some colors you don't, and there is a order that you do to the colors. I used to make, when I was a kid, my mother was real big into it. She made the paisanki, the Ukrainian Easter eggs, and there was an order to those colors as well you had to know. And leather, there seems to be not a strict order, but a general rule of order. And actually, it's funny, white is one of the last ones you use, which is kind of the opposite of what you normally do. But yeah, you lay on your white last, and you lay on some of your darker colors first, your bolder colors like reds and greens, which I found very interesting. I don't know, but it seems to work. And so that's what I've been doing. Let's see. This is the other one I had right here. This is Leather Studio leather and vinyl paint right there. That one, I just have this in the one color. It's not as, I didn't like it as much, but it still worked. And this is, I've been using this for mixing because I mix my own custom colors. So leather paint, yeah, Angelus. I bought a set. It had black, white, blue, yellow, and red. So all your basics. And then I ended up picking up turquoise from the store. Michael's has actually started to carry this now, but we actually, in my area, we have a art store that's carried it for quite a while. But Michael's has started carrying these paints. If they ever get them in stock, there's a bunch of spaces. There's like, I don't know, 12 spaces there, and there's normally just like one blue bottle and one red bottle. I was able to make green no problem, and I don't think I tried making orange, but purple was just escaping me somehow. And I reached out to my mother. I said, my mother's, she's the one that actually taught me how to do oil painting and acrylic painting on canvas. And I was like, I need to talk to the painting expert, Ma. She's like, what's going on? And I said, I can't make purple. And she's like, it's just red and blue. I was like, oh, I tried that. I wanted to make like a deep purple for the cross, and I was unable to. And she's like, yeah, she said, just do it a little bit at a time, add a little bit here, add a little bit there until you finally find the color. So I'm going to definitely try that out. Let's see what our next question is. Weaver Leather Supply is another one to get supplies. Yeah, Weaver also use a vise to stamp with. I've never used a vise to stamp with. That's pretty interesting. You would, I'm going to have to try that out. I can't imagine you put it like sideways in the vise and then stamp it, press it together that way. I mean, that could possibly work. I might have to try that. Weaver Leather Supply is another one to get supplies. I really like Weaver's belt blanks. They have these buffalo belt blanks. These things are amazing. They look great. They're pre-punched. The edge is already on there. That's what I use to make most of my belts. Weaver, yeah, Weaver's definitely a good one. They don't carry as many stamps, like we talked about the 3D leather and 2D leather craft tool stamps. They don't really carry a whole lot of those. But I think I actually bought my paint set. I can't remember if it was Tandy or if it was there. One of those two is where I bought my paint set from. And it came with brushes. It was like, I don't know, it was like 20 it might have been $30, but I think it was $20. But, you know, it was nice. It was a good set. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. How many subscribers do we have at the moment? How many subscribers? 9982. Someone else unsubscribed. Dang it. This is supposed to be a 10,000 subscriber party. We're going to get there. We are going to get there. We will eventually get there. So getting closer. but also taking a few steps backward. You got a few unsubscribes. I guess people don't like live videos, but that's fine. They don't have to watch it. It's just you guys and me. We're hanging out. The Big Stacks family of makers. What was the last thing that I asked for? Oh, your questions. Do you have any other questions about leathercraft? You have questions about gardening? You have questions about woodworking? I actually, my first job out of high school was at a plant nursery, and I learned a lot about gardening. One boss there, he was a retired Marine, which there's no such thing as a retired Marine, but he liked plants a lot. And then there was another gentleman who actually had a horticulture degree from Virginia Tech, and that's where I ended up going to college. But he taught me a lot too about like the different chemicals that you use. I say chemicals. I mean it's stuff like calcium, stuff like nitrogen. It should be I guess elements or compounds. You use stuff like bone meal and blood meal and different things like that, which are byproducts of other industries, and they add things like calcium and nitrogen into the soil. So I know a little bit about gardening. Plus, I mean, I'm a big guy. I like to eat, and I really like homegrown tomatoes. I like homegrown berries, strawberries. They taste so much better than the ones in the store. The tomatoes taste amazing when you compare it to the ones in the store. So that's the reason I ended up starting and doing a lot of gardening. And I actually make a garden video about once a year. I'll make a garden video. This year, I don't think I'm going to grow anything. I'm just going to take what I already have growing, which is strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. I might grow some cucumbers and stuff. My wife, Mrs. Stacks, has a bearded dragon now, so she wants to grow some vegetables for it. So we might end up growing some of that stuff. But we're just starting our growing season here, so we still have a little bit of time. I might show you guys how I actually, I took the side of my yard and fenced it off with some goat fencing, and I put up actually plastic to keep the dogs from peeing on the garden, and they're not allowed in there. I had one video where I made a garden gate. I can show you guys what I do to make it all nice and pretty in the garden, and the types of mulch that I use in the garden, because the mulch has been very helpful to keep weeds at bay and to hold in moisture for my plants. Let's see if we have any other questions. Karen Latham, I got your email. Thank you very much. And Cliff Maynard, I finally got your email. Thank you, Cliff. Now, who was our other gentleman that was? I did not get your email. Let's see. Let's see. It was Karen, Jerry Reichert. Jerry Reichert. No, it wasn't Jerry. Jerry sent something in. Cliff Maynard. Jim Dewey. Jim Dewey, if you're still out there, I haven't gotten your email yet. It would be bigstacks@bigstackshop.com. Send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to send you the prize package so you can make belts, make your keychain projects, make your mystery braids. I saw a few more questions. Let's take a look at them. All right. How do you decide the thickness of leather for projects? It's all about, I don't get hung up on the actual ounces of leather. Now I have different hides set aside. I have different thicknesses of hides. I have the standard one that I use, which is probably like I don't know, maybe like 8 ounce or something, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark. Like a medium grade weight. And then I have some thicker stuff like heavy duty stuff. A lot of that's from shoulders, some heavy duty stuff from shoulders. And then I don't think I have any thinner stuff right now, but that would be my wallets I make with the medium grade stuff anyway. But it's all about what your final use is going to be. So if you think about, let's say you're making a bifold wallet. So you have two sides that come together, fold like that. You open it up and there's slots for cards. So you need multiple pieces of leather. For the outside piece, you can use a heavy duty leather or medium grade leather. But the inside, each one of those pockets, you're going to want thinner grades of leather, because you end up with a big fat George Costanza wallet before you even put any money or receipts or, oh, look at that, learn to play guitar, the little tear off sheets and stuff that in there, all the different things that end up in a wallet. You're gonna have a thick wallet to begin with if you don't use some thinner leather. So I can kind of consider what I need the leather, what I need the finished product to do, and what kind of use it's going to see. The real heavy stuff, if I were to, I don't make gun holsters. I have yet to make a gun holster. I made a lot of knife holsters. I actually made knives before. I've made knives and and knife sheaths. The knife sheath I want pretty durable. This I used the somewhat thicker leather on this. This was the axe sheath. So the axe sheath right there. Yeah. So I used a somewhat of a thicker leather there. This is actually one of my camping projects. But I did use some thicker leather there for the knife sheaths and for like the axe sheaths. Kind of consider what the project is going to be used for, and then go from there. The belts, I buy pre-made belt blanks. You can buy hide and cut your own, but it's just like marginally more in cost, and it saves me a lot of time. And when you're doing a production run, doing a bunch of belts I'll try to get like 8 belts at a time, or I'm making 8 belts at a time, 7 belts at a time, 10 belts at a time. I try to get at least 5, but I want to make them all at one time. I could. It's just gonna save me time if I just buy the blanks itself with the pre-punched holes and the edges already finished and it's already cut straight, and you really can't beat that. So I don't pay attention to the thickness of the leather there, but I just kind of consider the end use, what's going to happen. If you want something that's actually going to be somewhat durable, you can't use the thin leather. But if you're going to be stacking stuff, you don't want the super thick leather either. So that's kind of how I look at things. There's actually, if you go into my community tab, if you go to my posts, there's a chart there, and I think it was from Weaver or Tandy, I can't remember, but it shows like if you want to make a camera strap, you use this. If you want to make a rifle sling, you use this. If you want to make a wallet, you use this. And it tells you the different thicknesses of leather. That's a pretty good guide right there if you're looking for something. Let's see. Okay. Cliff. Oh, another neat idea. Pick pouch for a guitar or banjo picks. That is a pretty cool idea. Big Stacks actually is currently the only full-on musician in the family. And I say full-on musician, he actually owns an instrument that he plays. My nephew, he plays a little bit of keyboard, but he's more of a singer. But I should make big stacks, a guitar pick, or maybe even a guitar like the I don't know what they call it, a sling. But yeah, that would be an awesome idea, because the guitar pick, you could even take the crafts tool stamps that are down there and put one on there, either a letter, because they do make letters in that size as well. They make numbers in that size, or just an image. That would be something that's pretty cool, a guitar pick case, or the guitar strap. I think it's called a guitar strap, not a guitar sling. So that would definitely be something that's interesting. Stacks. Okay. You plant with the signs in the almanac. My grandparents and parents used the signs. The signs in the almanac. You mean like, when you say the signs in the almanac, you mean, what do the signs show you? I don't really use an almanac. I use more like, I do growing zones, and I actually look for what my local, like I live in Virginia, so, and my grow zone is the warmest one in Virginia. It's down way in the corner. I live in like the Virginia Beach area. This growing zone, the last frost is on April the 15th, so I wait before I plant anything major after that time. And I look at Virginia Tech, since that's my state. They actually have recommended planting times for different things. So I use them as a reference. It will say you plant your Crowder peas on this day, you plant your watermelon on this day, you plant your tomatoes or this time of year. And that has a pretty good layout of when to do things. Like you plant your lettuces earlier in the year, because when it starts getting warm, they're going to bolt and it's going to taste like doo doo. It tastes nasty, nasty. That's what I use. I've done raised beds before. Would you guys want to see me make a raised bed? They're pretty simple to make. Um, there's things outdoor I can make. There's so many woodworking things I can make. Does anyone have any interest in woodworking stuff? There's just so many channels out there that do woodworking. There's just so many. It's kind of overblown if you ask me. I wanted to make some woodworking stuff, and that's really since I was probably a little kid. I could show you my first woodworking project I made in Cub Scouts. I mean, I've been a woodworker for a long time, and leathercraft was kind of like a secondary thing. When I took my current job, I had to work on Saturdays, so I couldn't go out to. I used to go out to art shows and craft shows and sell my stuff. And now that was woodworking, but working on Saturdays, you can't go out to those things. So I just decided I wasn't going to do woodworking for a while. Plus, when you're cutting using woodworking tools, there's two things you need to protect. One is your lungs and one's your eyes. So you want to stop from breathing in sawdust and you want to keep your eyes protected. Well, my problem is I would put on a mask. I put on a mask and I put on my glasses, and my glasses would fog up. So I couldn't see my hand next to the blade. And I'll tell you right now, if it's between my eyes or getting sawdust in my lungs or getting chunks of wood in my eyes, I'm definitely protecting my eyes first. So I tried not to breathe when I would cut stuff, or breathe minimally, or if that's even possible. I need some better dust collection. That's the way to do it. But if you guys want to see some woodworking stuff, I've done a lot of woodworking stuff. I have a lathe that I turn stuff on. If you guys want to see laser engraving projects, there's laser engraving projects that are I've done before that are pretty exciting. Everything from slate to acrylic to leather. I don't think I've done a leather craft. Now, I have done how to engrave leather, but I never did really like a project with the laser engraver on leather. That'd be kind of cool. Plus, I need to make some more of those videos. I still owe We Create, who they gave me the laser. Every once in a while I get stuff sent to me. I've got 2 laser engravers sent to me, and the only other thing that was sent to me was I did the corrugated steel raised bed. Those were sent to me because I do these channels and they want me to make these videos, and I agree to it. And they always have the paid promotion included. But like all the giveaways today, this is all coming out of, that's all on my nickel. All the giveaways that I've done before, it's all on my nickel. I haven't had a lot of leather companies that want me to do stuff for them. It's only laser engravers or the one raised bed. And I got an email the other day from a laser engraver, and I said, yeah, I mean, I'm interested. Tell me more about it, but it has to be the right one. There's a lot of ones that I've turned down before. There's so much stuff that I've turned down that they wanted to do. One was like some Chinese company that made biker jewelry, and I was like, I mean, I don't know if you know that I'm into motorcycles, but this really isn't a good fit for my channel. So there's a lot of things that I've turned down before. It has to make sense for me. But I'll tell you what, let's take a look and see if there's any other things. Cliff says, I'm originally from Kentucky. That's how a lot of folks planted by here. Okay. So yeah, I know that people have used the Farmer's Almanac before. You can use the Farmer's Almanac to kind of predict the weather. It's not always right though. I don't know if the Pawpaw Fit is still there, but the Pawpaw Fit, he's a personal friend of mine, and we were actually putting an outdoor event together, and we looked at the Farmer's Almanac, and we're like, I don't know, that's the only date we can do it, but a date looks like it's going to rain, and it ended up being freaking amazing weather, and so that was a good thing. But let's see, any other questions for me? How many questions have I had since I asked that? Wet molding leather. Okay, that was Karen Latham. A lot of keychains. Weaver Leather Supply. Vice the stamp. How do you do which thickness? That's another one from Jerry. Oh, and another neat idea. Yeah, and how do you decide what thickness? Jerry, you're killing it, man. You have all kinds of questions. That Cliff's asking me about planning. That's great, man. Let's see how many subscribers we're at so far. Maybe we magically eclipsed 10,000. Nope, we're still at 99.82. Man. If you're out there, there's like 9 of you out there, I think, right now. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let me see. Yeah, please subscribe if you haven't yet. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 10,000 tonight. And I might have to filibuster it. I know I wouldn't expect all of you to stay up with me, but if you want to, we can stay. We can hang in here as long as we can. Let's get back to the itinerary. Let's see. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see? Woodworking, laser engraving, gardening, anything else in my shop. I could do car repair, home repair. I do a lot of that stuff on my own. Motorcycle repair. I do some of that. I'm fairly new to that. Other than leatherworking, is there any other types of videos you would like to see other than leatherworking? Or if you say stacks, I just want to do leatherworking. I love your leatherworking stuff. Let's do that. Then I'll be more than happy to keep doing that. So you let me know if you would like to do something different. If you'd like to see something different, go ahead and chime in for me. If you're just joining us, this is our 10,000 subscriber video. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We have 18 more to go. Please, if you could just give me a quick like and subscribe, that'd be great. If you're finding value with this video, I'm going to talk about leather crafting. I'm going to talk about some of my other things that I've done in my channels. Yep, we're at 99.82. All right, let's get back to the chat. Oh yeah, come on, let's share this channel. Hey, I appreciate that, Cliff. Thank you very much. Okay. Ever turned your own burnishers on the lathe? I have turned my own burnisher on the lathe, and I think it's actually even still on the lathe right now. I made my own burnisher, and I actually used the lathe to burnish. Man, that thing does a great job, especially when you got to knock them out real fast. The big thing about it is, the big thing about burnishing is it's more about, and I put beeswax on there to burnish. I don't use toconol. A lot of people use toconol, and I'm sure it comes out great, but I'm kind of old school, and beeswax I feel does a great job. But I actually turn my own burnisher, but it stays on the lathe. So it's like a power burnisher. It's like pow. And that's when I did the run of belts. I think I did like 13 or 14 belts. I burnished them all on the lathe. It took like 5 minutes to do all those belts. It was amazing. It was great. So that was a real fast one. And so I have turned my own ones. Now I have not turned the handheld ones like these. Where's it at? I have not turned these handheld ones. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for a few bucks at the store, like $5-6. And they have a point. But I've thought about turning my own, and you can really use probably different types of wood. This one looks like it's made out of oak or some type of open grain wood, which isn't bad because you want to get the friction. If you use a real tight grain wood, it's probably less to your advantage than if you use an open grain one, something like ash or something like oak, where you want to get that friction. That's what this is all about, getting that friction. You don't want to force it on there either when you're burnishing. You just want to kind of run it along there. It's more about the speed and finessing it. So let's see what we got. Laser engraving sounds cool. Have you ever tried using the slicker for the Dremel tool? Oh, how to use a router. Okay, hold on. Okay, Karen Latham. I'm going to get back up a little bit. Karen Latham, how to use a router. Just finished Wahoo game board, creating the marble holes, polishing and perfecting the holes. I did it the old-fashioned way, so using a router would be awesome. Man, you know what? It's so funny. Mrs. Stacks is scared of the table. I want you to see scared of the table saw. She does not. She prefers not to use the table saw. To me, the table saw is one of my favorite tools to use. Table saw and lathe are my two favorite tools. The router, man, the router, that's a tool that demands respect. And I'll tell you why. If you're using a lathe, probably, other than, like, if, as long as nothing gets wrapped up in the lathe and sucks you into it, you probably can't get hurt but so bad with the lathe. Um, Chunks flying out, hitting you in the face, that's probably the biggest damage you'll get from the lathe. The table saw, yeah, you can cut your thumb off. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen on a table saw. But you know what? I do know someone that cut the tip of their thumb off. You're still, it's a pretty clean cut. You know what I mean? It's painful, I'm sure, and it's not something you ever want to do. But you get into that lathe, and that thing hogs out chunks of flesh. Man, I wouldn't say I'm scared of the lathe, but I respect the lathe. The lathe is the one thing you have to respect, and I think before I use that lathe, especially if I'm hand holding it and what I'm doing, I got to think it out first. I got to sit down and think it out. There's a certain direction you go in because of the way the bit rotates. And I always go online and look that up first before I start using it for that particular project. Because the last thing I want to do is put it on backwards and have something jump off or a chunk fly out or ruin my piece. Because it sucks doing all that work, and then when you go to touch the lathe to it and it screws it up. I've taken just cutting a juice groove in a cutting board. Man, you know how many times I screwed up? I just took it and smashed it on the ground. There's something cathartic about destroying something that you tried to make nice and it just won't do it. And I've taken an axe to a table I was working on before because it just didn't end up right. And you're just like, nope. I need to finish this. I need to finish it in my way. I've cut stuff up and threw it in the fire before, and I wasn't like violent with it, but you just gotta. It's like a mental thing. It's like I've created it, but it's not right, so I have to destroy it. And I've done those things before, and I've had projects that I've worked on forever that I can't get right. I've had to move on from them. I would bust them up, and then throw them in the wood pile. Not the wood pile, the burn pile, and we'll burn them right then. There's something very, very calming and releasing once you do that. So the router, I can show you how to use certain things on the router, and I'm decent with my handheld, like my palm router. I've got a ways to go with some of my router stuff, and as far as like lining stuff up, man, that's a pain. I even have my palm router has like a little window in there. It's got a little light so you can see it. I'm still not the best with putting it spot on. So I wish I could tell you more about routers, but I'm not your person to do that. That's my Achilles heel in the wood shop is the router. But the router is such a versatile tool. There's so many different things you can do with it. And what I do with it just scratches the surface of what can be done. Yeah, I don't know if Scarfish Glass is out there. The gentleman that did the last live stream with me, it was probably like over a year ago though. He's great with a router, and he's really good with it. But it's all about prep. It's all about jigs. It's all about different things when it comes to the router. And as far as like doing those holes, man, I'm trying to think the best way to do that. To do the marble holes, because you would get like basically almost like a cove bit, kind of. Not really. It's kind of, it would look kind of like a cove bit, I would think, or cove bit would look the opposite of a cove bit. It would be a round over. No, it would be kind of like a cove bit. So lining it up, you would probably have to mark it on the outside and then use a guide point on your router, like put a mark on your base plate. That'd be the only way I know how to do it. I'm sorry I can't be more help with the router. Let's see. Have you ever tried to use the slicker on the Dremel tool? I haven't. I mean, you probably could, but I have the lathe, so I haven't done that. I thought about making one. I just don't see a reason to buy one because if I'm in the shop, I'll just use my lathe. But if there's someone out there that has used it, any of you guys that have used the Dremel tool with the slicker on it, please let me know. If you're just joining us, we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I want you to just enjoy it. Don't stress out about subscribing just yet. But if you are finding value in this, please do like and share. Please like and share this, and I would really appreciate that. Um, but I've never tried the router. Has anyone else used the router? Oh, I'm sorry, the router. Has anyone else used their Dremel with the burnishing tool? Let me know. I would love to find out. I would love to get your feedback on it. That would be great. Cliff Maynard, laser engraving sounds cool. Laser engraving is pretty cool. So what's funny about a laser engraver, once someone finds out that you have it, they're like, hey, you have that laser, right? Can you can you laser engrave leather with that? I'll be like, yeah. Can you take my knife sheath and put my name on it? Yeah, we could probably do that. I just need you to know, sir, that once it's done, it's done. We need to make sure everything's right on it. We need to make sure it's exactly where you want it. And I'm not the 100% the best at it. I would rather make you something and then give it to you than take something you already have and do it. I've had people that ask me to engrave stuff on guns and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking your weapon and putting it in there, because if I screw it up, then no, no, we're not going to do that. Or something expensive, putting something expensive in there and laser grave it. I'd rather take blanks and do it. You can do everything from, I've done nameplates for like a trophy to flasks. I took a metal flask that was powder coated and engraved that for my friend for his birthday. Slate was a big one. So I took these big slate boards and I made one for my uncle for his birthday because he came to town last year. He's taking it around showing it to all the neighbors. Man, look what I got. And it said like his last name and then Chop House, and then it had a picture of the bull with all the cut marks on it. He's showing it to everyone. He's loving this thing, man. I said, use it with your grill. He don't want to use it. He hangs it up in his house. And I was like, man, go ahead, use it. He's like, no, I wanted to get messed up. So then I made one for someone else. It was some fundraiser they were doing, and they were like asking for donations from where I work. And I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a slate board with the thing on it. And she was like, that'd be awesome. So I made it, and she was floored that this could be done. So then she came back to me a couple months later. No, probably it's been a little while, been a few months later. But now she's asking me to make her 100 coasters because she found out I could do slate. She wants to make 100 slate coasters with a logo on it. I'm like, we could do that, absolutely. It's funny, once you start doing these things, then people want. It's so unique. They want to try different things. I've actually made for motorcycle shows. I've made awards for that, which I have one around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I made awards for that. I've laser engraved slate coasters, laser engraved leather. You can actually laser engrave and cut leather with a laser engraver. And you don't need an expensive one. You just need to buy. You can buy inexpensive one. I think my first one was a few $100s. I mean, it was sent to me, but it was only like $300-400, and it was nice. It was a decent laser engraver. And then I got the other one that's enclosed, and I'm actually going to vent it outside my shop using probably using a dryer vent, so that the smoke goes outside. That one's enclosed. That was a little bit more expensive, and I actually owe them a couple more videos. But man, that thing worked great. I love that laser. That laser actually has a tool that you can turn and you can do tumblers. Like if you want to take let's say if you have a cup or something like that, it can actually laser engrave that, so then you can have it with your drink. There's so many different things you can do with a laser engraver. And a 3D printer, I'm just scratching the surface, I'm sure, with that. I want to make those stamps like this, custom leather stamps. You can make the small ones, or I want to make larger ones for like wallets and stuff like that. All kinds of cool stuff you could do with a laser engraver. It's very exciting. So let's see. I always say you need the right tool for the job. You do need the right tool for the job. There's no question about that. The right tool for the job is good. It is the ideal thing. Okay, so when I was looking for a lathe, I was gonna said, I just wanted to do my own thing and build like a spring pole lathe. I thought that would be kind of cool and just fart around with that. Then I was like, let's just go to Harbor Freight and get a cheap one. And someone made a comment to me one time, and they're like, you know, it's so much more enjoyable to use a tool that's meant for the job or that's a premium tool if you can afford it. And I'm not saying go out and buy stuff just because, but or if you're making it one time. I hate doing that, but sometimes you have to. I always try to find an alternative if I can, and that's how I've done a lot of things in my shop. So I do a lot of things with leathercraft. I might try to find an alternative first. If I just got to do it one or two times, and then if I find I'm doing it more, then I might buy the specialty tool. But I know when I bought my lathe, I was looking at the Harbor Freight once, and someone said, "Yeah, you know what? You want to enjoy your time with it. I would just go ahead and buy the nice one." And I bit the bullet and bought the nice one. It was definitely well worth it. Um, but you know, you can still use the utility knife to cut leather. Chuck Dorset does it from Weaver Leathercraft, and so he's his job is to sell leathercraft tools and leather and leather supplies, and he still just uses a utility knife. Um, so sometimes the alternative will work, but the right tool for the job definitely does make a big difference. Okay. And then I love eagles. I would engrave an eagle on different things. Eagles are awesome, Cliff. Eagles are awesome. Um, Apex predator. Apex predator. Nothing that I'm aware of hunts eagles. So definitely something that's very cool. You get some of those craft tool stamps. They have eagles on them. They have like the eagle attacking, or they'll have like the eagle head. And I think you were the one that talked about motorcycles a lot. So you probably have a lot of Harley stuff with eagles on it. That's a big thing for Harley. The eagle soars, it flies, it's freedom. That's definitely a great thing. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick someone that I think has contributed a lot to today's thing. We're going to wrap this up. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. I appreciate everyone sticking out with me, sticking it out. But I don't think we lost some people and we gained some. Yeah, we're at 99.82. We pretty much broke even. So I guess this officially isn't a 10,000 subscriber party, but I'm getting very close, and I appreciate everyone that has joined us in this chat with me. Once again, if you're joining, if this is gonna be the replay, you're still eligible for that hammer. Where's that hammer at? Here it is. This is a great tool for pounding down your stitching lines. It's not going to mar up the surface of your leather, and it gets a nice professional look with the stitching lines. And look, it's American made, made in USA. I feel sometimes it's okay to buy outside made in the USA if you can't afford certain things that made in the USA. But I'm going to tell you right now, I went in the other day to Lowe's, and I was looking specifically. I wanted to see which utility knives were made in USA, and I'm looking all over. And then there's not Gerber, it was some knife brand that had one. And there was Cobalt, which is sold exclusively at Lowe's. Then there was some other brand. Then there was, and they're all made in either Malaysia or Thailand or China, except for, and there was two Craftsmans that were made in the USA. And guess what the least expensive ones were? And I don't think the tariffs have kicked in that hard yet. They might have, to where all the other prices have gone up. But the made in USA ones were the least expensive of all the other options. So I try to buy made in USA when I can. Some things I can't afford, or if I'm just starting out, I might have to buy something that's manufactured overseas. I will say this: if it's so ridiculously cheap to buy it, there's probably a reason for it. And I just want to close with this: there are people out there right now who are in labor camps that are producing goods, and I'm not talking about, we all talk about the sweatshops and stuff like that, and that's not pleasant, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about slave labor. There's people out there who are making stuff in labor camps around the world. Please make sure, especially the Uyghurs. The Uyghurs are the ones who, it's like Uyghur, something like that, Ghar, over in China. They are an ethnic minority who have been rounded up and put into re-education camps, and a lot of it is making cheap stuff. And then there's certain websites out there that have become very popular lately that they don't want to. U.S. Congress has asked them to prove that they don't use Uyghur labor. They don't use that slave labor, and they're just like, we're going to stay quiet on that. No comment. So I'm pretty certain that they're using it. So if something's cheap, like ultra cheap, and you're like, man, it's a killer deal, I got to buy that. Just think about what the human cost of some of that stuff is sometimes. So I try to buy made in USA when I can. I try if something's ridiculously cheap and I'm like, this is crazy. How is it that cheap? I'm probably not going to buy it. Like they say we're cutting out the middleman. Yeah, they're cutting out the middleman. They're cutting out the worker too. They're not paying the worker. They're cutting this paycheck down to nothing, and setting them up in basically a concentration camp. So please, if it's so ridiculously cheap, don't go buy like 10 of it. Don't even buy one of it. It's probably, do a little research. The company you're buying from is probably, well, there's a chance the company that you're buying it from is using slave labor. So please keep an eye on that. I'm all about saving money. But I'll tell you what, guys, thanks for hanging out. I do want to pick the winner, though. I do want to pick the winner of who's going to win the big package. The big package is going to have these letter stamps right here. Okay. The big package is going to have this modeler stylus. Okay. The big package is going to have one of these, which is the, what do you call it, the edge burnisher, the belt template, samples, and the big stacks butter right here. Boom, the butter. Remember, basically like a whipped butter that goes on and turns into a liquid and absorbs like a liquid. It's great. You can control it. You have the control of like a cream or a butter, and the soaks in just like a leather. It's really, really, I'm surprised that it happened. I stumbled upon it, but it is great. So thank you guys very much. Let's see who our winner is going to be here. Okay. Let me count up real quick. I want to see who's done most in the chat. The last one being at 10:06 p.m. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I think I know who's won this. And definitely a lot of great contributions out there. But Cliff Maynard, you have won the big cheese, the Makers Pack, the Leathercraft Makers Pack for tonight. Thank you very much for participating. Everyone, and Cliff, do me a favor, send me an email. Just remind me that you've won that one as well, and I will send you everything that is due to you. Some of these you're going to get 2 of. Let me know if you want 2 of them. I can send you 2 of them. You can give them to a friend. But thank you everyone for participating, and you can still drop comments if you're watching this on playback. I'm still going to give this Leathercraft hammer away to someone for pounding down stitches. Just let me know. Put things in there that say projects you want to see, questions you want answered, anything you can. Do me a favor, put it on there. I'm going to pick someone else to get this hammer. So appreciate you guys very much. And I guess we're not getting to 10,000 tonight, but we will get to 10,000 very soon. And thank you very much. You guys have a great day.